early. And Solonomics and Project to the hope everybody's doing well. I named this video Gossip because it's a cautionary tale about gossip. Now, this channel is not about gossip. There are plenty channels that deal with gossip, celebrity news, and they are at the top of the charts. And so today, this morning, I'm on my way in, and I so happen to see, as usual, some fallout between what these celebrity bloggers are saying. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, and what's going on. But I took special interest about a year ago in this R. Kelly narrative, and I see that the father of Azriel has been, very vocal about his daughter. I saw some recent news that the father, what's his name, Angelo, that he did not like some of the commentary that was made from some of the bloggers. One person says something, they have an exclusive, and then everybody just grabs it. They don't fact check, they don't source check anything, and they don't consider the effects of what it is you're saying. You notice sometimes when I'm speaking, I will pause. You know what that's called? It's called thinking about what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Thinking about what I'm saying. If you don't think about what you're saying, words are something you cannot pull back. Once it goes out your mouth, that's it. So this morning, I was like, you know what? I don't even follow these people on social media, but my spirit just gave me, just go to Instagram to see what he said. I happened to go onto Instagram just now, like he came off 10 minutes ago, and he was live. He just went live. So I was like, all right, boom, the horse's mouth. Let me hear what's going on here. And so he is speaking about the effects. Guard your mouth. This is what Torah tells us, LF. Torah tells us guard your mouth, but the world tells you run around, go live, say all kind of stuff, and think that none of this stuff is going to come back to you, which is madness. This is a lesson. It's a cautionary tale. So I happened to go there. I said, wow, okay, maybe I'm supposed to hear this. I happened to go there just when he is going live. He's in the airport. He's going live. He just came off of his Instagram, and he's talking about some of the things that was said in the live by Tasha K, which is a blogger, celebrity blogger, about his daughter, and her associations and how she's working with, and all of this, exclusive, first to give the tea and first to dash the wine. Anywho, he was expressing his discontent with that, and like 3/4 away through the video, you get to see that after all of this time, finally, he got his daughter, and his daughter is with him. She kind of jumps in the shot. And hey guys, he kind of pushes her away, just to show that after all of this time, he finally, all the noise that he was making to get his daughter back home. She's young, 22-year-old young girl, and she's back with him. And he's giving a cautionary that, listen, I cannot tell you people not to do what you're doing, right? Not to blog, not to do whatever, but be mindful of what you're doing. This is people's lives, and I would have to say, although I don't agree with everything that's going on, I would have to say I agree with, be mindful of what you're doing and what you're saying. Likes and clicks are not going to be there when you have to answer for the damage that you have done to people, the problems that you have put people in. It's two sides to this conversation with this gossip blogger vibration that people are like, oh, it's two sides to this. A is vanity. That's number one. You're wasting a lot of time. Yeah, you may seem like you're getting headway in society and people know your name, but you're wasting a lot of time, because how does this make you a better person? You understand what I'm saying? All you're showing us is that unless you're reporting, like honest reporting of facts and things that help people in society, this tit for tat blogger vibration lowers it kind of like, it lowers the expectation of the people. Because what titillates you and makes it so exciting is because, oh, did you see this? Oh, it's like, oh, okay. And then when you look up from all of that and you use your entire day to be consumed with somebody who doesn't know you, don't want to know you, and has nothing to do with you, you use your entire day to say that's how you eat. That's vulture culture, or culture vulture. Damien Dash spoke about this briefly, but when I was thinking about it, when I drive by, sometimes I will see John Crow, we call them vultures, on the side of the road. A vulture is waiting for something or someone to be injured. It's not just European people being culture vultures. They're waiting for somebody to be injured, somebody to be hurt, somebody to be in a compromised situation, so that they can do what? They can feed off of them. Right? I'm going to come see them, so that they can feed off of them. And this is what this blog celebrity culture is. I'm waiting for somebody in the most compromising situation, because we all know positive news doesn't get cycled as much as negative news. I have my own theories on why people like negativity more than they do positive growth. Right? Because you want to feel a little better than somebody else, or their life is a little more jacked up than yours. So that means I don't really have to improve. If I have a C, they have a D. See, I'm better, I feel better. Not realizing that you are damaging not only yourself because of what you allow to continually come out your mouth on the ongoing. And he was speaking to the young girl's father, what's his name again? Angelo. He was speaking to how people put their own spin on certain narratives, which is true. People are putting their own spin on it to make it more juicier, to make it more appealing. And what is feeding this is not, because here's the thing: if the people didn't want it, and then the bloggers wouldn't do it. So this is like drugs. If nobody was over there smoking crack, then nobody would be chopping crack up in the lab. You know what I mean? If they wasn't smoking meth, then they wouldn't know whatever they do with the meth, then they wouldn't be making it. It's profitable, and that's why people do it. And that means that the people, the everyday people, have the appetite for this. And that is what is encouraging these bloggers, these vloggers, these, gossip foolishness to do what it is that they're doing. And we have to think about in the end, when it's all said and done, when it's not going to go away, but what part do you play in it? And where the man spoke about, and I had to go and see what was said, and I'm like, what? The man spoke about endangering people. Like, what team are you on, dude? Is it team me? Like, you're endangering, you're like giving the eyewitness news on the scene account of what is happening without the fullness of the matter of what is happening. The Torah gives you a lot of information about even a fool who holds his tongue appears wise, or the first to come in his claws seems white until his neighbors come and search him out. That means, like, just because you run to get an exclusive or to run to first to tell the story doesn't mean that that's the fullness of the story. And I know that a lot of people don't subscribe to wisdom because this is not why they must just start getting the bag and survival. But there is more to life than that. There is more to life than that. There's more to life than just getting the bag and survival. Our words have creative power, point blank. And the energy that we put out, the way in which you come for people, is the way in which people will come for you. That them same people that's clicking likes and like, yeah, girl, give us the tea and spill the this and da-da-da-da-da. Them same people will turn on you in an instant, because it's not really you they're coming for. It's not really you they're coming to hear. They're really coming to hear who they value, which is coming to hear. They're coming to their life value, because say they don't feel valuable and they have to work cooler. You know what I mean? They at the table at work. And if they bring up Beyonce has value in their minds. Jay-Z has value. So the person who you perceive to have value now makes you feel like you have value. It's a mind game. At the end of the day, unless you're going to pull out something out of this story that's going to better your life and the lives of people around you, or just to bring, to let people know what's going on, what's the point? What's the point? Like I heard the father say that, you know, when things come out, you're gonna see how sick of an individual that R. Kelly was for years. For years. How long has R. Kelly been out? People subscribe to R. Kelly because of what R. Kelly was giving the people. A feeling, an emotion. He made them feel something through his music. R. Kelly has been slack, meaning lewd, indecent, for years. I know, man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna chip in and out of Patois only because, as you can see, I'm a little turned up this morning. For years, it was swept under the rug because people saw value in what he was doing, and they wanted that. They wanted to convert some of that onto themselves. They wanted to tap into that, so they turned a blind eye. An elder who I used to work with on another radio show before, he used to call it bright privilege. So you give privilege to somebody who you think is give privilege to somebody who you think is talented. Therein lies a kink in the system. R. Kelly was allowed to become what he became because there was nobody around him holding him accountable. And so they propped him up on stages and they put him in front of people and they gave him access to people. Why? Because they wanted something from him. Sorry. So I don't know, at this point, yeah, all the chips are going to come, but there's accountability enough to go around. So it is with the people who are reporting. You have to be accountable. You reporting to children, people, teenagers. You reporting what types of people. Like, what are you putting out there? What type of energy are you putting out there in the universe? And if it is not, like when I do, like I write, if I'm going to report something factual, fiction, not non-fiction, you have to get all of the ducks in a row. There's no, unless it's an opinion piece, there's no ad-libbing. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that. Why? Because you will be pulled up on charges. That didn't happen. That didn't occur. Is this an opinion piece or is this a factual retelling? And we the people, when we're consuming certain news articles, you have to know the difference. You have to know when somebody's giving you entertainment versus when somebody's giving you facts versus when somebody's giving you a mix of the two. Because when you have to go, you're going to go and you're going to spread that. So my mom said, somebody said this to her because she does social work, that as much people as you can help, you can hurt. So if I put out misinformation and I'm like, yeah, there's 20,000 people saw my video and 50,000 people. Oh, now we had 100,000 people. So that means I misinformed 100,000 people. It's not just how many people saw your video. It's how many people did I misinform with my video? How many people did I inform with my video? How many people did I hurt with my video, my article, my book, whatever it is? And I don't think that's how we're looking at it. We're looking at it as numbers, and people have become objectified as just numbers on a screen and somebody in your chat, and it makes you feel like, yeah, I've arrived. No, because when this can go away in an instant. Just think of this. Picture this. Remember Golden Girls used to say, picture this. If this goes away in an instant, meaning this social media, I can see you, I go live, you see me. And everybody has to go back to the real world where you walk and you meet people and you see people in real life, in the real world. Question, how would you be received? How would you interface with those people? Would you be able to face and sit across the table from the same people that you drug from hither and yonder? Because y'all can see I've been listening to too much Uncle Tom's copy. You know what I'm saying? Hither and yonder. How many people would you have to protect yourself from because of and what you have spoken into their lives? So, because it's not right now, you don't know how many people heard, but who they see is who they see. I love his laughing. Who they see is the person who's saying the stuff. You know what I mean? I've always been, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just over careful, but I've always been conscious of what I am saying on social media, period. Like, yeah, I'm coming for you, I'm keyboard banging, Yo, this stuff never goes away. This stuff never goes away. So before you write, before you speak, before you do anything, please think. Please think. Because these things come back up to you. And either you're going to say, yeah, I said that, I meant that. Yeah, I said that, I was misinformed. Yeah, I just said it just because. But have an answer, because it's gonna come back up at some point in time. To this blogger conversation and the R. Kelly, praise be to the creator that family was able to get back in touch with their child. That is their child. I mean, it's your entertainment, it's your fodder for the fire, but it is their child. Some mother carried that child for 9 months, labored with that child, birthed that child, and had to endure their child being gone and abducted. There's a lot of news that there are many melanated girls, thousands of them have been abducted and who are missing, or who have been sexually trafficked. Well, here is one of them. She just happens to be being sexually trafficked with a high-profile person. That's still somebody's child. That's still somebody's pain. And I believe he spoke to that this is somebody's pain. This is somebody's trauma that they through and deal with while you just got your funsies on. You know what I mean? In the hood, like, how insensitive can we be? Like, at what point does it become beyond news? You know what I mean? At what point that where it's like it's a bit sadistic now? Like, yo, what's good with you? Like, you just enjoy, you know what I'm saying, seeing madness all day long or reading madness all day long? Like, we might need to call Ayala. Like, Ayala, yo, come get them, please. We got some people over here who's tripping. Hello. I don't really see FedEx ladies. She must could list some packages. There usually be some FedEx dudes, but I don't really see FedEx ladies, because them packages be heavy. I know the ones I be ordering be heavy. I order flour, the man be like, what's in here? 50 pounds of flour. But yeah, so that was my thoughts. The live is up there for however long he's gonna keep it up there. I didn't really say anything. I just wanted to hear, what the father had to say, and just to understand that's a melanated person. That's a young girl. The other girl, what's her name? Joy. She's a young girl. The things that these people have gone through in their very young life, even though they were in this compromised situation, that's going to take years of therapy. And that's if they undergo the process. Because there's so many layers to their pain and so many layers to their trauma. They're going to have to, what's the next little girl name? And these are young girls. What's the next little girl name? Dominique. This is years of pain and the Geronda girl and all these of trauma that they're now going to be somebody's mother. They still have to be somebody's daughter. They still have to be, all of these things. So if we want the toxicity within our community, just in the melanated community, to ease up a bit, we have to stop making it okay to be toxic. We have to stop making it okay to spew all of the things that people are spewing without no accountability. You're like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, I'm spilling the tea. You're doing more than spilling tea, man. You know what I mean? Some people are in the cut watching these things. Like, they're watching these things, and they're spiraling deep into depression and doing all kind of stuff. Let me see what's going on here. We got a stoplight. They don't live to make themselves or their community better. They're only for the dollar. Yeah, it's a shame. That mindset is only in gossip. To tear others down instead of self-progress is in America. Yes, it is in American culture from its inception. Using others. This is Jason. Where did your thing go, Jason? Oh. Using others is embedded in the culture. Yes. You see it in the gossip magazines. But this is what I'm saying. It's just taking a book out of the leaf of those who have oppressed you. So you're just like the oppressor, but 10 times worse. Because those who have gossip magazines, they also have money magazines. They also have architecture magazines. They also have art magazines. So they may have a genre of gossip magazine, but they also have genres of other things that helps them to rule and govern. They have stocks, they have bonds, they have buildings, they have all. You understand what I'm saying? But when you're limited that way, your genre is gossip, and then one or two, you have Black Enterprise, you have one or two magazines that talk about other things, then this becomes the totality of who you are. If you do what do they call that thing where you assess YouTube and look at the melanated bloggers, and I see a lot of melanated women in this space. You know what I'm saying? And they are like, yo, do you know what you could be using your platform for? This same platform that you're using to tear people down who have apparently lost their way. Because a lot of them are you know, they've lost their way, the point blank. They thought they wanted to be rich. They thought they wanted to be famous. They thought it was the answer to their question. And when they got there, they realized not so. So they're lost. That's how I see it. There's nothing to be idolized. People are lost, right? And you go live and you speaking to 50,000 people, and you over there feeding the beast. And they're why? Because it sells, it makes money, and then what? There's always and then what? You have children, right? You got children? Cool. They say if it don't catch you, it's gonna catch your child. I just did the American translation, right? If it don't catch you, it's gonna catch your child. It's gonna catch your grandchildren. You have children. Most of these people have children, right? So you cannot be playing in the dirt like that and then think you're gonna come up squeaky clean. It don't work like that. Somebody needs to be reading some universal laws and principles. Universal laws and principles are real. What we sow is what we reap. So making these people your enemy, although because they have been, you know, dangled in front of you as something to hate or something to love or something to idolize, and making them the whole reason why you exist and why you how I look waking up in the morning, right? You ain't praying. I don't know if y'all praying. I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You're sitting up on Instagram and YouTube to look for somebody's post. I be saying to myself, how did y'all see that? They be like, oh, post and delete, we got it. I'm like, dang, y'all quick. How did y'all see? You know, somebody had a thought, then they changed their mind, they took it off, and you're like, boom, I got it, we on it. Okay. So in closing, because I'm almost at the yummy, concerning the family getting their daughter back, may the Most High be with them. They have a long journey ahead of them, a very long journey ahead of them. Concerning their daughter cutting up, and I saw they said she was fighting and she fought the other girl. They have a lot of stuff going on that we don't know nothing about. They've seen a lot of stuff, heard a lot of stuff, been forced to experience a lot of stuff. What the young girl did come on and say when she was doing the little fighting thing is that they were forced to lie on the Gayle King interview. We kind of knew that. You see what I'm saying? But that's to show you how mind control works. That's to show you how mind control works. That's to show you how much of a victim that they were and how manipulated they were. And she was the one who was the most vocal on that interview, the one who was caping the hardest for the other troubled soul, which is Sylvester. I'm gonna call him Sylvester. For Sylvester Kelly. You understand? Sylvester, like some people say, I haven't seen this new discussion I haven't had time to look at this new discussion, but I'll take a minute to say this. If you haven't seen, what's the name of the thing I did? Unraveling R. Kelly, which is where I give information concerning my thesis. And there have been people said they haven't seen a thesis yet. I adjure you to look at the thesis. My thesis is that this man suffers, and I'll say it again, it's a thesis. So if you go ahead and check it out, because somebody's going to need to reach not only him, because he's just an example, people like him who have been exposed to alcohol in the womb, because that's my thesis, that he have alcohol fetal syndrome that has been diagnosed throughout his life. And this explains and speaks to a lot of the weird, sadistic, corrupted behavior that he has exhibited. So while everybody from his manager to his brother to everybody saying he needs help, to Alana Van Zandt, I did that video the other day, saying he needs help and nobody can help him because they don't know what's wrong with him, you might want to check out that hidden disease. It's called fetal alcohol syndrome. His mother, as his own testimony in his book, drank a lot. Now, whether she drank while he was in vitro, There's a possibility. So I can't go through all of that now, but just look up Unraveling R. Kelly, and then you'll see how I unravel some of this information. And I pray that it gets into the hands of people who can not only just speak to his issue, but speak to the fact that if you're pregnant, don't drink alcohol. You can affect the long-term effects that you have on your children. It's crazy. If you're pregnant, don't burn ganja. You know what I'm saying? Don't be smoking no weed. If you're pregnant, stay off the drugs. Because when you affect your child and then your child goes out there and affects the community, people say, well, I don't know what's wrong with the child. Well, what was the mother doing while the child was in vitro? So this is why I look at these things. How can we look at it and at least learn from it? What can we learn from this situation? What is really wrong here on a soul level, on a metaphysical level, on a spiritual level? What's wrong? And how can we fix it? This is what you use these situations for. Some of these, what do you call them? Celebrity people who are celebrated, they're narcissists. Some of them are the wimpy kid who finally got clout, and now they coming to wreak havoc on you all. All of you cool kids who didn't give them no play, or who teased them, or who told them they were fat, or who fat shamed them, or who color shamed them. Then they get a little play. They coming for you. If you look at a lot of these celebrity types, you will see that they had injuries early on in their life, and they have something to prove. And the adoration and the attention and the applause that you give them, even though intermittently it's enough, ultimately it's never enough, because the injury is at a soul level. When I roll up at the yummy, y'all, I got to jump in there because I got to finish this order for this lady. Whoa, it's 9:46? Hey, it's 9 o'clock, oh, hey, it's 9 o'clock, oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. Anywho, I'm going to stop, I'm going to read the comments, and then I'm going to run in, because we about to make this catering thing. So if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the box. That's my thought. The name of the thing is Unraveling R. Kelly. I'll probably put the link in afterwards. Learn something from what you're seeing. That's what I tell my young ones all the time. Anytime you're looking at something, what are you learning from it? I know we like idle time, but at the end of the day, if your stuff is not done, if you don't get done what you need to do, you just wasted your time. Life on earth is precious. What have you been doing? You know, I spent 5 years, I watch YouTube videos. I could tell you all about Cardi B, the backside. Do you notice that, these people are still going to the cafe, going to dinner, still living their life while you sitting there watching them living their life? And you can't even learn nothing from that? I mean, come on. If you at least be like, I'm watching Divorce Court, it's because I'm learning something from Divorce Court. I promise you I am. Hold on, mister. Back off me. Back off me, mister. Back off me, mister. This turn right here is always so crazy. This is a crazy turn right here. All right, fam. We have arrived at the Shizop. Let's see real quick. Okay, yes, guard your tongue. That's the name of it. Guard your tongue. That mindset is not only gossip. Must watch that. It's very good. Yeah, watch that. If you haven't seen it, it's called Unraveling R. Kelly. I start with the book. I start with the things that he's left on record. He wrote that book. It's called Solar Coaster. So I started with reading of the book of the Solar Coaster, and then listening to all of the other books from the victims and the people who said that he did this, that, and that. And then you find all of these parallels and these commonalities. And like I said before, one day I was like, after I just like had a whole overload trying to really figure out what was wrong with this dude, from a distance, of course. I heard a small voice. I did. And it was like, yo, fetal alcohol syndrome. And I jumped up. I started researching fetal alcohol syndrome. And I was like, and then you start to see the voyeurism, the inappropriate boundaries, the thinking that a lot of people say that in his mind, they think he's mildly mental retarded. They think that he thinks that he's younger than he really is. He has inappropriate relationships with people. He's obsessed with sex, and that comes on later. That comes from that fetal alcohol exposure. And it also comes from possibly. And it also comes from then his lifestyle that he was exposed to as a child. So I can't go into all of that now because I got to go. But thank everybody for tuning in. And yo, man, Get up, get out, and get something. You know what I mean? Get up, get out, and get something. Don't just talk about it, be about it. All right, this is Mooney Israel. Everybody have a blessed day. Uncle Tom's Cabin tomorrow evening. And then we're going to read Josiah Henson because Miss Harriet Beecher Stowe, you know what I'm saying? She's stressing me at nighttime, y'all. All right, everybody have a blessed day. Thumbs up the video, share, like, do all that lovely, great stuff. And put the little bell thingy if, you know, you want to hear Muna share some thoughts. It's not going off. Have a good day, love. Everybody have a good day. Why is this thing not going on? Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes.